The peak municipal youth organization, known in German as the Stadtjugendausschuss e.V. Karlsruhe, would like to take the opportunity offered by this unique major cultural event in Karlsruhe to give visitors an insight into our activities. Over 50 years old and still as vocal as ever. The Municipal Youth Association combines both community and voluntary children's and youth work services. Established in 1951 as the umbrella organization for local youth associations, following a resolution by the City Council in 1966, it also assumed responsibility for municipal youth welfare services. The association currently represents 43 youth organizations and is directly responsible for 30 children's and youth centers and projects. Hundreds of youth organization volunteers and approximately 150 full-time staff are laying the foundation stones for our city's future. Our young people. Even prior to the OECD's triannual PISA survey, it was evident that the best overall learning outcomes for children are achieved by combining formal scholastic and informal social education activities. Consequently, the Municipal Youth Association has developed highly successful violence prevention programs in schools. Totally new forms of mentoring activities have emerged from these cooperative efforts, such as the Educational Association with the acronym CLEVER. Such initiatives not only help the children, but raise the profile of youth work and provide support to schools.
Ja, aber dann darf auch nicht einfach irgendwo zupacken.
The aim is to make young people strong, not only strong enough to say no to drugs, but also to resist the use of violence. Training is provided in socially acceptable or condoned forms of behavior during group work sessions, in face-to-face discussions, within the scope of open youth work activities and, in particular, in the Karlsruhe Fan Project. Educators in the Fan Project attempt to redirect the likely use of violence into verbal rituals, with the level of violence having decreased markedly since the project was initiated. A traditional area of children's and youth work has been the provision of holiday activities ranging from German, international and foreign language learning excursions to camping and holidays in and around Karlsruhe. These activities encompass not only the integration of disabled young people, but also intercultural experiences. The Municipal Youth Association is currently expanding these vacation activities to include the shorter holidays, providing assistance to working and/or single parents in particular.
Dabei werden in den nächsten 3 Tagen 25.000 Jugendliche in mehr als 1.200 Gruppen soziale Projekte umsetzen. SWR 3 wird die 72 Stunden ohne Kompromiss als offizielles Aktionsradio begleiten. Veranstalter ist der Bund der katholischen Jugend.
Youth organizations have always been at the center of youth work and still contribute significantly to the development of social skills. But without the commitment of volunteers, nothing would be happening. Young people can assume responsibility for their own actions, practice democratic forms of interaction and develop values for communal living. Youth work needs to focus greater attention on the acquisition of transferable core competencies. These abilities include self-control and taking responsibility for one's own actions. Despite a widely held view that young people today are politically apathetic, increasing numbers are actually becoming involved in the committees and advisory bodies running youth centers, thus actively assuming a high degree of responsibility. These processes, which can be quite involved, are supported by our expert staff. Research has shown that today's youth are experiencing a vocational crisis. The worst affected are those with minimal formal education and poor German language skills, i.e. predominantly young migrants and ethnic Germans from former Soviet countries. A qualification passport was developed, which has now been implemented nationwide. It assists in ascertaining suitable career paths and also encompasses non-scholastic competencies. For the ethnic German immigrants from Eastern Europe and Central Asia, we have established the MOC project. It aims to facilitate integration progressively by motivating, providing orientation and assisting in the acquisition of vocational skills. A major element of youth work, both in associations and through so-called open services, has long been the provision of education and training outside the formal education system. The range of training extends from computer courses and team leader training to live-in seminars at our French training center in Bärental and experimental arrangements on the activity playground. A core element here is also the voluntary nature of participation and fostering personality development. Here today, gone tomorrow. Social phenomena such as flexibility and mobility also mean that today's cool scene can soon be tomorrow's Nerdsville, making self-orientation difficult. Consequently, developing one's own stable personality in such times is of vital importance. A wide spectrum of services help young people get their bearings and establish their own identity. Activities range from group discussions and issue-based projects such as eating disorders in young women to activity-based projects and confrontational group dynamic sessions at youth centers. For the most part, we develop our identity through culture. In addition to major events such as the festival, known in German as Das Fest, the Municipal Youth Association is culturally active on a daily basis in its facilities and associations. Activities such as the circus are extremely popular with children and allow them to recognize, develop and test their own capabilities in a social group situation. Open meeting areas in youth centers are often one of the few suburban spaces where teenagers can actually mix freely with each other. Many young people view the youth center as their substitute lounge room, a protected space. We help young people acquire social skills, deal with conflict and crisis, and get a well-balanced perspective on life and work. The majority of visitors to our facilities are young people from migrant families. The Municipal Youth Association has developed guidelines for intercultural competence and trains its staff accordingly. Just a few of the things we have on offer on a permanent basis for children and young adults are the Karlsruhe Skate Nights, the Festival Sports Park, the Kids Construction Zone at the Mobi Mobile Playground events, and recreational sports weeks during school holidays. Our numerous activities are designed to counteract the much lamented lack of physical exercise among the young as vigorously as possible. Of course, this film can only provide a brief introduction to the many facets of the Municipal Youth Association. Neither has it been possible to highlight the underlying theoretical, political and educational issues involved in any depth. Further information can be found at www.stja.de.